On this episode of the Chris Meadows Show, what if?
It's time for the Chris Meadows Show. Greensboro, Summerfield, Jamestown, Oak Ridge, Stokesdale, and all of Guilford County. Get ready. Chris Meadows is coming to you live right now.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Chris Meadows Show. Appreciate you joining us again. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about what if someone else may have been elected. And we are coming to you on day 2 of the Democrat government shutdown. And they've shut it down because they want to give health care for illegal immigrants. I don't think that's a good reason to shut down the government, but evidently the Democrats do. And there's a big difference because the right side of the aisle doesn't want to shut down the government to give benefits to illegal immigrants. We'd rather keep the government open so everybody can get their pay and their benefits and people don't get laid off and fired. But the Democrats really must not care about that. So that really continues the Democrat narrative and what we're seeing from the Democrat Party elected officials. Not necessarily Democrat voters, but the elected officials. They are again putting illegal immigrants over citizens, and they continue to put criminals over the victims, and they continue to put foreign nations over America. I don't know why they do that. I guess they don't like America, but that's their narrative and they're sticking with it. And when we see Israel and Hamas conflict, they seem to be sticking with the Hamas terrorist over Israel. So that is the topic of today. What if Kamala Harris was elected instead of Donald Trump? So let's just go down the list. Illegal immigration would continue to be a major problem. Millions more of illegal immigrants would have crossed our southern border, and increased crime would have come with that. Increased drug trafficking would have come with that. Increased human trafficking would have come with that. And but we're lucky Trump was elected because the southern border is effectively shut down and we don't see any illegal immigration coming across the southern border that is measurable. Um, if Harris was elected, we'd see more government spending, whereas now we have an administration that is trying to cut spending. If the government remains shut down, the DOJ findings of fraud and wasteful spending will probably kick in, and we won't have, hopefully, as big as budget and as much spending. And some other things, we got the tax cut that was put in place in 2018, voted for in 2017. Those tax cuts were extended. That's good for all Americans. And but if you know who was elected, your tax cuts would be expiring December 31st of this year. So beginning in January, you have gotten a massive tax increase. And I would suggest that with the Russia-Ukraine conflict, war, it might be over by now because Russia may have already won that war against Ukraine if Kamala Harris was elected. At least Putin has been stopped where he is, and he hasn't taken any more land from Ukraine since Trump has come in. They are still fighting, of course, but Putin has not gotten any more land. And I mentioned the Israel-Hamas conflict. That's just a cluster, if you know what I mean. And it's unbelievable that we see across this country supporters for the Hamas terrorists over one of our closest allies, Israel. And if Harris was elected, I think we would continue to have seen all the anti-Semitism on college campuses that has been tampered down quite a bit since Trump has come into office. He is negotiating with some of these universities on their student code of conduct in exchange for financial aid and things like that to the university. Any public school, really any university that receives federal funding, needs to end this anti-Semitism and hating of the Jews on campuses. It's just unbelievable that we're in the 21st century and we see anti-Semitism rampant on college campuses. Another big difference between what would have been the Harris cluster administration versus the Trump administration is the Title IX that Biden had basically overwritten, uh, allowing men in girls' locker rooms and bathrooms and men in women's sports. That's rapidly coming to an end, and I couldn't be happier. As someone who has two daughters, I'm ecstatic that we're ending that nonsense, that woke nonsense of transgender men, women, whatever, into women's locker rooms and in women's sports. Um, we're going to take a quick break now, and we'll be back to discuss some other items, and hope to see you in just a few minutes. Thank you.
You're listening to The Chris Meadows Show. Join us on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify at The Chris Meadows Show.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the music of my friend at Flash Jackman. And as I mentioned a couple episodes ago, we'll be talking about candidates because it is election season in Guilford County and across the state. But we focus on Guilford County, and we do focus more on Greensboro because it is the largest city in Guilford County and arguably the most important municipal election in the county. So, back to the concept of what if. We right now in Greensboro have a 8-1 Democrat majority on the city council, and we have one Republican who is outvoted on just about everything that he tries to get accomplished, and we need to change that. We have an opportunity in Guilford County to get some right-leaning candidates and the mayor as well. A right-leaning, smart person elected. So, what if we don't get those people elected? In 2023, we had record homicides in Greensboro. Now, Greensboro's a medium-sized city, but we had 74 homicides in 2023. It went down last year, but that 74 was a record by a substantial amount. And the city council really has neutered our police force in a way. They they cannot pull people over, and traffic is horrendous. The homicides again are a major problem. We are tracking what we were last year. Roughly, I think we're about 30 homicides this year. We'll probably get up to 45 ish. I hope we don't hit 50. I hope we don't hit 45. It's sad that we hit 30 in a town our size. But if we don't elect smart, business minded people on the city council, we're just going to be screwed in Greensboro. The current city council will undoubtedly match the Guilford County commissioners in raising our property taxes as they are planning to do. So if we don't get, again, smart, business friendly people on the city council expect another tax increase, one that could be more than what we got in 2022. Homelessness, it's getting worse and worse in Greensboro. And every time you hear a politician speak, they will say, well, we've been talking about it for 10 years, 12 years. They're talking about it, but they're really not doing a whole lot. There's a debacle about this hotel that they bought for $3 million and sold it for $300,000, something ridiculous like that, a huge loss. And we got to get smart people on the city council so they don't do dumb things like that. And I'll go over some of the candidates in a little bit after a couple more words. But if we elect smart people, let me tell you what we'll get. We'll get more police officers to patrol the streets, lower crime. With the presence of police officers, just the presence of police officers lowers the crime rates. And when the bad guys see police around, typically they don't commit as many crimes and they don't shoot as many people. So we need more police officers. We're probably down 100 police officers in the Greensboro police force. Again, we need more police cars. As I mentioned in the first episode, we're down police cars. We're down people to service the police cars. Hopefully, a better city council will address those issues and hire more police cars, buy more police cars, hire more police officers so they can do their job. Right now, they're not pulling people. The major roads in this town are racetracks. The intersections are death traps because they're not enforcing traffic laws when people run stoplights or stop signs. It's really pretty bad. You take your life in your hands every time you get in the car in Greensboro, and it shouldn't be that way. So we need smart, business-friendly candidates to get elected. And we're going to pull up a list here in a minute of the candidates running in Greensboro. And I'm going to give you my personal opinion, not a political party opinion, but a personal opinion of who should be elected. Now, this is the primary, okay? So the top two for the mayor's race will go into the general election, which will be in November. Early voting for the general starts October 16th. The primary early voting is going on right now, and the primary date is October 7th. So on your screen, you see the four candidates for mayor of Greensboro. I'm not going to make a selection in this one except to tell you the top two that should go on to the general. And that is Robbie Perkins and Akir Khan. The other two, it would be bad news for Greensboro if either of the other two became mayor in this city. So Perkins and Khan are the two that need to go on to the general election. And we'll talk about that later next week or so, next couple of weeks, to see who gets into the general election race. So as we go down the list here for the at-large, you can vote for three people in the at-large race. My personal opinion is that Richard Beard and Carla Franklin should be the two that you vote for to go on to the general. In this race, the top six that win in the primary, that get the most votes in the primary, go on to the general election. There are three at-large seats on the city council in Greensboro. You can vote for up to three in the primary and also in the general. But the top six go, and then in the general, the top three get seated. I'm only selecting two, Beard and Franklin, to go on to the general election. I'm just not impressed with anyone else. Again, we need smart, business friendly people to move on to be seated in our city council. So the next race that has a primary is City Council District 2. Folks, there's only one person qualified out of this entire group of 5 people. There's only one that should receive any votes. The others are, frankly, I'll just say Jim Key is the smartest guy in that bunch by leaps and bounds. The others, I'd be surprised if they could tie their shoes. It's that bad. So Jim Key is the only selection in District 2. So on to District 3. District 3, similar to District 2 in the sense that there's only one qualified, smart, business-minded person in that bunch, and it's Zach Matheny. He is the only one that should receive any votes. It doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're from in District 2 or 3. In District 3, Zach Matheny. District 2, Jim Key. So let's move on to District 4. This is, I have my pick. There's really, in my opinion, 2 qualified people. One is more qualified than the other, and that is Nikki Smith. He has been a business person in Greensboro for over 40 years. There's no question he is more qualified than the other one. Only 2 of these will go on to the general election, but Nikki Smith is much more qualified. He's a smart, business-minded person who wants to see Greensboro be better and more business-friendly. And the pick is Nikki Smith. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Jamestown race. There's a primary for the town council. There are, I guess, 6 or 7 candidates. Let's see there. There's 6 candidates, it looks like. I don't have a pick for this really. I think two or 3 go on to the general election, then top 2 get it. Jim Gibson and Jim Westmoreland are qualified. Richard Clapp. The others, not so much. Again, I don't know much about the Jamestown town council race. However, there is not a primary for the mayor's race. Only 2 people filed to vote in the mayor's race, both very left-wing Democrats that will destroy Jamestown. Jamestown is a very nice town in Guilford County. We do not want to see it destroyed by 2 lefties or 1 lefty that is elected as the mayor. There is a highly qualified, smart, business-minded person that will be running a write-in candidacy. His name is Greg Pittman, and he is a Republican. Jamestown is a Republican town, Republican majority. And I want you to remember, if you're in the Jamestown market and city limits and can vote, you need to vote for Greg Pittman, write him in, and it's simple. Okay. So Greg Pittman, write-in candidate for mayor in Jamestown. So those are the candidates that the candidate list that we're going to go over or have gone over. And we're going to take a quick break. This show is going to be a little bit shorter than the last one. So we'll see you in just a moment.
You're listening to The Chris Meadows Show. Join us on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify at The Chris Meadows Show.
Welcome back. As I mentioned, this is really not going to be a very long show. I wanted to remind people why they voted the way they did in November. We would have been in a downhill spiral if Harris was elected and her completely incompetent Minnesota governor running mate. It'd be the clown show if those two people were elected. So thank you for not being clowns in your voting last year. With that said, let's not be clowns this year in our Guilford County municipal elections. Let's vote for smart, business minded people that want to keep our city safe, our town safe across the county, and most importantly, get out and vote. Early voting is going on right now, and primary day is Tuesday, October 7th, where you will vote at your home precinct. Right now, they're voting places in Guilford County, downtown Greensboro Courthouse, the Jamestown City Hall, I believe, and Burr Mill Park, and the Coliseum in Greensboro. So those are your four early voting sites. They're all open through Saturday, so you can go vote. You may notice the email address in the green bar running down at the bottom of the screen. We had a slight typo in the previous one, so we didn't get any emails. But feel free to email me. I'll answer emails. I'll talk about it on the air next time. So with that, thank you for spending a few minutes with us. Have a good day.